cold. Let that get cold. That one. I'm hiding the other ones on myself.
All right, we should be live. Welcome to the Beery Traveler.
Welcome to the Beery Traveler.
You still got
it. My name's Ian. This is Sean, the bartender. We also have Kerrin Connolly with us tonight.
Oh, no.
Again, the upside down song or the sign. So we've got 3 beers tonight. They're all actually pretty different tonight. We're not going with any kind of theme or anything like that. I do notice that one's needs to be adjusted. So we've got 2 beers from Cincinnati from our trip a couple weeks ago. We've got the we'll start with the Streetside Saturday, which is a Berliner Weiss, which sour basically. We also have the West Side Brewing from Cincinnati as well. We're going to do their common ale, and you'll notice the special can that they have. We'll talk about that as well. And then the Pecan Porter from Pivot Brewing, and that's in Lexington, Kentucky. We stopped by that one as well. That'll be our big dog beer for tonight. But we're going to get started with the Berliner Weiss. But we're going to say hello to Kerrin real quick first. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. Now, you're in Boston?
Yes.
Yeah? You would tell us just a little blurb about yourself real quick?
Well, I am a 20-something-year-old DIY musician located in Boston, and I make a lot of videos on the internet, like of covers and my own stuff, usually about nerdy stuff, and I just came out with an album last May.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. We'll probably hear maybe a couple of those songs later on.
Yes.
But in the meantime, let's drink some beer.
Excellent.
So we're going to start with the, and Kerrin's package did not arrive like FedEx said it would. I'm not going for that sponsor, so you know what? FedEx, you failed.
Right.
Ooh.
I miss home delivery from DHL. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
They were nice.
DHL,
they were the little guy.
You know what? They have one of those right up the road from George's daycare.
They were like the Tab Cola in the Cola Wars.
Yeah, they were.
For shipping. They were, you know what?
Like
they were good for what they were.
Yeah.
They were cheap. Or the RC Cola. Sorry, what are we drinking first? I got distracted by
the Saturday. The Berliner Weiss. So this is with strawberry, raspberry, and pink lemonade. So I'm going with very summery style beer. In their description, it says very easy drinking, great to float down the river with.
Yeah, it's got kind of like an 80s style to the label.
Yeah.
Kind of spray painting for the livery.
Yeah. Saturday. So I guess this is kind of their weekend beer.
Like just the foam that kind of spurts out of the can is red. Yeah, dude.
Nice and bright.
Oh man, it looks like a slushy. That's awesome.
Oh, and lots of berry on the nose. Yeah, this might be pretty good. Drink fresh beer may re-ferment. So,
what's the alcohol in this?
4.5, but
4.5.
4.7. But if it does re-ferment, I would imagine that alcohol goes up a little bit.
I mean, it's sweet enough that it could keep going.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice. This is easy drinking, man. This is.
Oh yeah.
Poolside. Well, that's not much. That's not pretty much all I do.
And it's
gardening, I guess.
So, Berliner Weiss is a style of beer that comes from northern Germany. It's in the late 19th century. It was the most popular beverage in Berlin. So that hence the name Berliner Weiss. The things that it has to be sour or tart. It has to be cloudy, and it usually has to be a lower alcohol. In fact, this is a higher alcohol version of this beer. Like I said, it's most popular in Berlin. There's not too many of them making it in Berlin anymore, but it's originally actually from Hamburg, Germany, is where this beer comes from. So northern part of Germany. Nice. Very, very, very good. Very berry and refreshing.
Yeah, and it's got like a light tartness that just kind of hits you right under the tongue in the back. This is tasty. I like it.
No, I also did read, and I can feel it, that lactic acid on it, where it's got almost that creaminess or meringue style to it.
Mm. Yeah, look at the meringue. That makes sense.
Yeah. Where it's more of that mouthfeel than any kind of taste.
Right.
Kind of like tannin with wine.
Right, more cream with cheese.
Yes.
Don't mind me.
So, Kerrin, how did you get started with music? What made you want to start playing music? You say you're DIY. What made you want to get going?
So, my whole family is pretty musical. My parents were in a band when I was really young, and they would do like covers and stuff. And they would play out, and they would always be practicing in the basement. And so we always just had instruments around the house. Like we have like a huge piano, and like guitars everywhere and stuff. So it was kind of like whether I wanted to or not, like it was like in my life. And like, but I didn't really like know that I would be any good at it until I was like, I don't know, like 12. And I I found out that I was good at singing through playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the classic the classic game. And I was singing along, and my mom was just like, you're hitting the notes, kid. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I rolled with it, and I decided to do like various talent show things at school, and then decided to like actually learn guitar seriously. Thanks to like Green Day. Green Day and Weird Al are kind of like the combination that made me. And yeah, I just played electric guitar for a long time. And then like in high school, I was like, I'm gonna write music now. And then I did, and that's kind of it. And I've been just making it myself, kind of out of necessity to begin with, just because like I'm 12, I'm not gonna like outsource like musical, but I just never stopped. Like now I like do collaborations with people, but I still kind of just really like making stuff myself. My album is self-produced, and it's just really fun to do.
That is cool. So you don't go into a studio, or do you rent studio time, or you just do it right out of your house?
I just do it in my bedroom.
Yeah. How most people do it.
Yeah.
You're the Bo Burnham of good music.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right. Very interesting.
Real quick question, if I may.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious. Did your video game sort of nerddom side? We talked about this before with the live stream. So did that pretty much grow up then, along with your musical ability?
Yeah, for sure. Like again, it's just another thing. Like my dad was really into video games. Like we would like our family time was like gathering around watching him play Resident Evil, like when I was like 5.
5?
Yeah.
I thought that was scary when I was like 13.
But it like, since then, like, I grew up on Spyro and Crash and all the PlayStation classics, and yeah, I mean, I never grew out of it, obviously. I consider myself more in the community aspect of it. I think like as I've grown, like with an online platform that sort of comes with it, like the people that usually like me are also nerds. So it's just fun to have like all of it come together in that way.
See, y'all had the good games growing up. We grew up with Super Mario Brothers and Metroid.
Metroid's good though.
Metroid was all right. They had the special code. Do you still remember the special code to get to the final board?
The Konami code?
No.
I don't
the
know.
Metroid code. You type in Justin Bailey, it take you to the last board. I don't know where that name come from, but it would automatically start you on the last board, and you fight the Mother Heart or whatever it was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Justin Bailey.
I knew more about video games than Sean and you. All right, I'm winning. I got points tonight.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like this just deserves a Google of Dustin Bailey. And
Justin Bailey. Justin Bailey.
Oh, Justin Bailey.
Yes.
Well, I was paying attention.
Oh, my light's falling off.
All right, Justin Bailey, Metroid code.
Oh, you're looking at it for real. You're looking at it.
He's fact checking.
Yeah.
Yeah. maybe
Liar,
I'm
liar, pants on fire.
God. No, I know I'm right on that one.
Oh, no, it's definitely the most basic version of the code allows Samus to start from north far, 245 missiles, 6 energy tanks, both of which are the maximum. No, but why? But why, Justin Bailey? It doesn't say. Let's move on to the next beer. We'll figure it out later.
All right.
Definitely
So
exists. Definitely right.
the next beer is from Westside Brewing in Cincinnati, Ohio. So their common ale is like their standard beer that they have. While we were up there, I noticed this nice fancy Pride can that they had. I was like, I was definitely interested, and it's what caught my eye for the beer. So with this beer, it's the same. It's a 4.7. It's definitely going to be a crisp ale, lighter notes, more delicate flavors. And I thought that the best thing about this was, and it says it right on the can, is proceeds from this beer are donated to the Human Rights Campaign.
Woo!
So
Sick.
Yeah. That's awesome.
it's their way
I'm
of
saving this
supporting.
can.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
So we'll give that one a little taste. Go with the ale glass with this one. Very light in color for an ale.
Yeah, it's just kind of an amber.
Golden color.
Yeah.
The light shines off of it.
Super, super, super clear. It's a little funky.
Yeah, it's got a little farmhouse in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. A little bit of that, like that kind of Heineken Amstel funk to it.
Yeah, that grain silo or hayloft.
Carries over to the taste, but it's still pretty light. Very smooth.
Real crisp, real easy, real light. The malts are there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Not
that's kind of what
super
balances it out.
But not super hoppy. I think the malts are a little up over the hops on this one.
This is one of those beers I've had in the last couple of years. When you're reflecting on like maybe the first beer you ever had, like I don't know, let's say like a Busch or a Milwaukee
Schlitz.
Best or Schlitz, and this is kind of what it should have tasted like, versus like it's like grassy. I don't even Bongwater has more flavor than those beers. This is nice. Like it is malty.
We
It is
won't be
obviously
drinking
beer,
any of those beers anytime soon.
right? But this is for being like their common ale for like
Yeah.
just what's the cheap beer on draft? I feel like every brewery has that. Like
It reminds me a little bit of the Bath Ale, if you remember that one.
Bath ale.
Bass Ale.
Oh,
B-A-S.
Bass. Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Bath
But-
Ale. Real.
We go to a lot of places.
Bathwater ale.
Right. This is Grandma's bathwater. All right, man. Let's do a round.
Yes. Do a shot, everybody. Grandma's bathwater.
I get essence of what is that? Cardamom.
Is it rose petals?
Anywho,
Grandma's rose petal perfume. Everybody remembers that.
well done, West Side. This is a good beer.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Like I said, it's light in alcohol too, so you could drink a couple of these.
Yeah, this is the end of the day. Just got off of work.
Yeah,
Don't really want to get drunk, but want to go to the bar and have wings with friends, kind of thing.
yeah, and drive home afterwards.
And be able to have to drive after only one.
Yes, 1 and an hour of sitting.
And a couple glasses of water.
Yes. All right, Kerrin. Tell us a little bit about how you've gotten to your beginnings to where you're at now.
Well, it's been weird. A lot of videos have been made. Like I started a YouTube channel, I don't know, like 10 years ago, maybe 11. And I don't think any like content creators like make things like thinking anyone's gonna watch them. Like you just do it because it's fun. And that's kind of just what I did for a long time. I was going to school. I went to college for a little bit, and like, you know, have worked a day job forever, and like just made it my like side thing, and just, you know, tried to focus on like getting better and learning things. I was using very, very terrible software for a long time because I'm like stubborn and don't like doing new things, but we've gotten past that. And I'd play shows every now and then, but it's not really my thing. I kind of like the behind the scenes stuff a little bit more. I like recording. Um, but in 2016, someone posted one of my videos on Reddit and it blew up like crazy. I did a cover of Young the Giant's Mr. Know-It-All, from one of their most recent albums, and it just like I didn't even think that video was like good, but it just like hit the sweet spot of the internet, and like it is responsible for like everything that I have accomplished now. So it's really weird. I have conflicting feelings about like, you know, how much of it's me and how much of it's luck. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people feel that way about art and stuff and surviving the internet. I'm really grateful for it. And like, you know, now that I have like a following and like I have cool opportunities and I can do cool things, and like now I can make things with the intent of like how it's going to be received, and like, you know, do real musician things, which is really strange.
Is that does that from I guess when you began to now, making things with an intent for how it's going to be perceived? Does that feel like a whole nother skill set that you had to pick up?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I wouldn't say like it ever became like the sole priority, obviously, because I still just like make stuff for me, and this is who it matters most for. But like, I wrote a song about the game Terraria because I was asked to by like a guy who runs a channel playing that game. And like that's certainly not a song I would have written before, but like I was able to like do music as a skill rather than like an emotional sort of thing, which is just as cool. Like it's definitely a unique and separate experience a lot of the time.
Did you end up having more feeling for that game after you written that song?
Kind of like
Yeah.
I played that game for a long time, but like it's been years since. But like the person whose channel it was, like a lot of his fans, his name's Hero on YouTube. A lot of his fans are like young, which I assume most people like playing Terraria and Minecraft kind of are these days, but like they were emotional
4-year-old
about it.
plays Minecraft.
Yeah, and it's fun.
All
But
he wants to do.
yeah, a lot of the fans like, you know, like are really emotionally attached to Terraria and the community, and I had no idea that even was a thing. And like it was a song about like being stuck in quarantine but being able to play video games so that you have like an escape, but like specifically Terraria because it's like world building and stuff, and like people really responded to it, and it was very cute and heartwarming. So like I did a job for a job, and then I got the emotional payoff anyway, which is
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's, I think that's like the perfect
Yeah. Oh, I'm
combination
lucky
of.
as hell. Like it's so wonderful.
Oh, I like it. So I know we have one more beer.
We do. We're gonna do the porter now.
Okay. After that, are we going to talk about what Kerrin's drinking too?
Oh, we can. We'll talk a little bit about that real quick.
Oh, we do it now.
Give us a little blurb.
Okay.
Because our package didn't make it in time. So Kerrin's is self liquidating. No.
Self-supplying.
There we go.
I've got Nova, which is a hopped cider from a local brewery called Far From the Tree. They're located in Salem, Massachusetts. This one is one of my favorites because it's kind of agreeable to everybody. I feel like a lot of ciders, if you're not like into cider anyway, you're kind of like, that's probably too sweet. I don't like apples that much enough to drink it. But this one is like closer to a beer than it is a cider, and it's kind of grapefruity, citrusy, kind of light. The last time I had it like actually at the brewery, I was with my boyfriend who swore he didn't like cider, and I was like, just drink it because it's very good, and he liked it. So that's how you win folks over. But they're a really cool place. I love Far From the Tree. They have like really cool like strawberry basil, like Earl Grey ciders. They get very creative. But this
Earl
one,
Grey cider.
it's nice. A lot of their ciders, including this one, are like 6.5 alcohol usually. So, and they come in relatively
boys.
large cans. So
Yeah.
it's,
Okay.
if you're trying to feel something, it's pretty good.
Right. It'll either help you feel it or take those feelings away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just numb them out for a while. So the next beer we have is also a nice 6.6er from Lexington, Kentucky, the Pivot Brewing Pecan Porter. So the thing that they have on their can that they like to talk about is the owner or the brewer, grandmother worked as a Rosie the Riveter back in World War II. And it says that her moxie guides us in our mission and motivates us to keep moving forward. So that's our message, I guess, for the day.
Yeah.
It's very nice. We always like beers that have good messages to go along.
And there's a little picture of her on the back. Which,
yeah, I see her
there we
on
go.
there.
There she is.
So this one, definitely that color of a porter.
Yeah,
I'm getting into that stoutiness,
deep, dark, intense.
but
Nice, fine looking bubbles. Yes, you got that heavy malt.
Pecan is very light on that.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty light. It's there, but it's
like a woody nuttiness, just kind of like
Yeah.
a back note.
yeah.
Ooh. 2
It's got
seconds
some
after you
chocolate
swallow.
notes on,
Then I got a bit more.
yeah. It's got some chocolate notes on there. Yeah, the pecan. It's pecan. It's like on that, like stays with you throughout. That
Yeah,
pecan
It's really like after you swallow, that little
Yeah.
bit of residual liquid
lingers. It lingers.
Neat. I'm okay with that. This is heavy. Like,
It's got some boldness to it.
right.
I was reading some of the reviews on there, and people are drinking it, saying it drinks more like a brown ale. I don't get that at all. This is definitely a porter.
So it's the flavors strong. Like the porter flavor is super strong. The body is pretty light, so I can kind of see that.
Which is normal with the porter. With the stouts is where you're getting more body in it. With the porter, they roast off the malts a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you get more of that roasty note to it.
The bubbles on there are really nice though. Like they cascade super duper well. I know I shouldn't be like totally entranced by that, but
Yeah.
it's pretty.
Like I said, it's getting into that stouty, more of that stouty style than a porter too. The way the fine bubbles and everything like that. But you can go ask just about any brewer what the difference between a porter and a stout is. You'll get a different answer every single time.
Right. The person who named it that. Yeah,
Yes,
you know what? This would be really good with.
So originally, the porter is supposed to be roasted versus non-roasted malts made into a darker style ale. And it's kind of gotten to where people cross that line of what they are really nowadays. But it's good. I like it. It's not heavy. It's bold, but it's not staying with you, like staying on your palate. Just that lingering of that pecan.
This would go really good with like a French onion soup.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something with another bold flavor to go along with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or just the cheese, I guess. But actually, the soup, like the onion and that kind of that
richness of the soup.
Yeah, because that soup is both rich and very open and fluid. It's not cream based. It's not any of that stuff. If you exclude the cheese on the top, like this would accent it super duper well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that. All right, so Kerrin, tell us about what you're doing right now. Like, yeah, are you working on any projects? Are you not right now, but like in your career now?
What's on the horizon?
What's on
Yes.
the horizon? Well, I am working on it right now, but I mean, like the album I just came out with, like, was like 6 years in the making. I just took way too long to make it, and it's like full of just old stuff, and I had been holding on to a lot of new stuff that I just like couldn't bring myself to work on while those weren't done. So now I've just got a whole bunch of songs that need doing, that are like half written and stuff, and I've got ideas for my next LP and like concept-y stuff around that. It's going to be sort of superhero-y, maybe. It's still a baby, so I don't know anything yet, but I have a few songs done, and that's going to be cool. I'm releasing a song at some point this month. I wrote a song about a fly that was in my room that was bothering me, and you know, that's where we're at. But yeah,
Right.
I'm with the album coming out, like there's sort of this weird there's this weird feeling that has always followed me, which is that like I am like an internet musician instead of like just a musician, because most of my work exists on the internet. But in the process of releasing an actual like official album, like I have the ability to reach out to like, you know, local publications and stuff to be recognized like as a Boston musician, and it's been both weird and really nice because I'm like meeting people, instead of just like logging onto YouTube and calling it a day. So there's much more networking in my future probably, and also just feeling like content as what I am instead of like, you know, just feeling like I'm in a box. And I think that's a sentiment like any like YouTube person shares. Like it's weird. It's a weird uh century to navigate.
That's true. Although
Yeah.
outside of the, let's call it the comments and the anonymity of the internet and YouTube, I've had this conversation many times, and I would say the life on the internet now, the digital life, the digital experience, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely real. The
For
work
sure.
the work you do is real. And you know, if you're only an internet musician, that can be just as amazing and fruitful as being only a session musician or only a touring musician.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you get to sleep in your own bed every night. So
Yeah.
That's
like,
true.
Right now, all those touring musicians are
right?
not touring
They're
now.
sleeping in their own beds every night too, and they're like,
And they're like, "What do we do now?"
right.
Yeah.
They also come on the show, and it's
Yeah.
hey guys,
Yeah. What are you doing now?
right?
Write a song for us.
Right. I'm actually supposed to learn some of their songs. I forgot.
Yeah.
I didn't forget. I just haven't.
He's gonna do it. He's working on it.
I'm working on it. That's But yeah, I had a
Speaking of
different.
songs, Karen, you've
Oh
got
yeah.
one for us.
Yes. I have got a song.
Let me highlight you. Hold on. There we go. Nope.
You're highlighted still. Now I am.
Bam.
I would like
Spotlighted.
to say that I am probably the only person in the world that uses a capo and a ukulele, but like, it is what it is. I got small fingers. All right. This song is called "It's a Conspiracy." It's about the moon and possible conspiracies surrounding it, but most importantly, about how weird it is that we haven't been there in like 40 years. All right. It's getting lonely way out here. Your space will do that to you, but let me be clear. I'm one heartbroken satellite. You see, it's been a while since I've seen you around. 40 years since you last touched my lunar ground. So a call at least would be nice. on to better things. Said it was the money, but maybe it's me. And you changed everything with one giant leap, and then you left me. Oh, maybe it's a conspiracy. I don't know this Houston guy, but I'll bet he can't shine as bright as I. Oh, there's so much of me you've yet to learn. And worst of all, you left your little prints on me. Stuck a pretty thorn in my side. Oh, is that all you need? You've been gone so long, but the memory still hurts. Whoa, you moved on to better things. Said it was the money, and maybe it's me. And you changed everything with one giant leap, and then you left me. Oh, maybe it's a conspiracy. Oh, what can I do until you return? Or watch the asteroids burn. I just don't glow like I used to. And as I count the days, I'm drifting further and further and further and further and further and further away. Ooh, oh, ah, ah, you moved on to better things. Said it was the money, maybe it's me. Oh, you changed everything with one giant leap, and then you left me. Yeah, oh, maybe it's a conspiracy.
Ah.
So I remuted Ian as he was trying to get it again. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very good. I loved while you're like rocking out and you like lean back and you can see that your glasses are crooked.
Oh, my ears are crooked, man.
First of all, whose aren't? 'Cause I've definitely seen my barber going, wait, I need to cut. Okay, this is how I have to trim off.
Mhm.
We all got weird ears. It's fine. Is that a baritone ukulele?
It sure is.
Yes.
Gotcha. It's got a deep richness and it's big.
Like a rich mahogany.
A rich mahogany, yes. Is it time for cocktails?
It is time for cocktails.
All right. So for those
Which one are we doing first?
I had a really hard time thinking about which one to do first.
I think we should do the Mexican fighting chicken.
Which one is that? Oh, El Diablo. Sorry. Okay. We're gonna do the El Diablo first. So this week I'm doing a tequila cocktail and a mezcal cocktail. Partly because I know some of my own biases. One of them is against tequila and mezcal. I don't mind them. I don't really drink them. I don't choose to generally very often. But they're wonderful liquors, and they should be used, especially if you like them. So we're going to start with El Diablo. I'm going to switch my camera real quick so you can get the cocktail cam. Cocktail cam. Cocktail cam.
I'll tell you how I make get my cocktail ready.
Right.
Usually I like make them with Sean, but this week we were Sean wouldn't let me participate. So
For those playing the home game, crack open your bottle now. For those that are going to play the home game later, use the bottle that's more full. Sorry,
that bastard.
So the El Diablo is normally made in a tall glass, something like a Collins. There are different ways that this cocktail is told to be made, prescribed to be made. You can either build it in the glass or build it in a shaker, shake it up, pour it over fresh ice. I'm just going to build it in the glass this week. And although it's a classic cocktail, its origins are somewhat debated. It's first published in Trader Vic's classic tiki cocktail book. That was in 46 or 47. And then like a year later is in like the Complete Bartender's Guide, which is like, if you're a bartender, like at some point someone's going to give that to you as a gift. You're going to get it and you go, oh, classic cocktails. And half of them are kind of terrible. This is one that totally succeeds, I think. So what you're going to do is get 1.5 ounces of Luna Azul. Well, I'm using Luna Azul tequila, but any kind of reposado. I've also done it with silvers and añejos. I think they all work. Añejo's a little bit much to use in this cocktail, but
What's the difference in añejo, reposado, and silver?
so silver is just your right out of the still tequila. So it has not touched any wood. A reposado, I can't remember if it's 6 months or 8 months, but it's always less than a year for the aging. So it's seen some wood. It's got a faint yellow color. And then reposado is over a year. Usually, not reposado, sorry, añejo is over a year. Añejo being also the word for year in Spanish. And you can get añejos that are quite old and you'll see them as they get darker. You can kind of tell like, oh, that's definitely been aged longer. Thank you for that wonderful question. You get an A.
Thank you.
So you get 1.5 ounces of tequila.
You've asked me so many questions. I was hoping to get you this time, but
No. I mean, again, it's not my favorite, but I still care. You know, it's like they're all my children, but I definitely have favorites. So that was about a 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice. We're gonna do a 1/2 ounce of creme de cassis, which is a black currant liqueur. This is kind of one of the reasons I like this cocktail is because it really rounds out the sharpness of both the tequila and the lime juice. So it's got a good balance to it. Also lends it a very nice purple color. And then the last thing we have to do is add some ginger beer. Now, did I bring my bottle opener with me? I did not. I left it outside the booth. This is quite possibly the worst thing.
Lighter there.
What's
See
that?
the lighter, Rick. The lighter.
Hold on while I disappear underneath the thing and see if I left one down here. You know what? Can you vamp for like 30 seconds while I go get my tiki bottle opener that I have just outside?
All right.
Sweet.
Well, Sean, unprepared this week. I've had my days though too,
Oh, sure.
where I haven't been like I was at the beginning of the show. I didn't have my pecan porter ready. Sean is back with a bottle opener. Hopefully,
I'm back. I have no words. I apologize greatly, but I do have my tiki bottle opener. There we go. It's not a very good bottle opener. There we go. So top it with ginger beer, and I didn't give it a little stir, stir, and you garnish with a lime wedge.
mine didn't come with a garnish.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna leave you with wedges.
Uh,
I'm not that kind of guy. So beautiful color. Okay.
Very good. The ginger bite is there. You don't taste tequila really at all.
Maybe that's why I like it.
It's very balanced, is what I'm trying to say. It's
Balanced and boozy. That's the way to live life, man.
like I would think that this is a rum cocktail rather than a tequila cocktail.
So actually, before the show, I didn't know that this, even though it's Trader Vic doesn't claim this as an original cocktail, I didn't realize it was first published in his book. And Trader Vic, for anyone that doesn't know, the whole now shrinking chain of tiki-themed restaurants that are Trader Vic's around the U.S. Trader Vic is tiki. That is like one of the legendaries. Don the Beachcomber and Trader Vic. Those are the tiki gods for cocktails. So I had no idea this actually appeared in the book first. And so I was like, oh, yeah, but I guess it is kind of a tiki cocktail. It fits that genre of fruity, boozy, citrusy. All right, so I'm going to put that right up there. Okay, nice. There we go. All right. Whew. You know what? I'm gonna take one more sip of that before the next cocktail. Running out of the booth just stressed me out, man.
He's thirsty. Yeah, he was running.
It was my time. It was my spotlight, and I blew it. Also, I really like that cocktail. Kerrin, do you drink tequila or mezcal though?
Yeah, mezcal's not my favorite, but I'm down. Like, if the occasion calls for it. The last time I had a mezcal sort of situation, I was bowling at this, like, interesting Tex-Mex place that had a bowling alley in it. And I was like, all right, I'm here. Like, let's do it. But tequila I roll with. I'm all right.
Yeah, you're in Massachusetts?
Yes.
I know. I only say that because I've been outside of Worcester.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been to a bowling alley that had a Mexican restaurant in it. And I feel like maybe there's a common thread in that part of the States.
Well, like, Massachusetts loves its candlepin bowling. Like,
sure.
It was invented in Worcester. So, like, it's kind of a thing over here to just do what you can with it. And I guess that means putting it in a restaurant that has tacos. Interesting, but it was great.
I mean, everyone loves tacos, so no debate.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Candlestick. It was like an AMF bowling lane. It was like, restaurant on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Right,
cool. I've never seen so many white people working in the kitchen at a Mexican restaurant. It actually scared me. I'm like, this is going to be awful. It was okay. It wasn't great. So and of course,
that movie Blood Out.
Did you say Blood In, Blood Out?
Blood In, Blood Out.
I feel like that just went really dark.
Wants to join the Mexican gang.
Time for the next cocktail. So this is a little complex, but I was trying to appreciate mezcal as a spirit and for what it is, and because it's tequila gets a lot of the credit, I think, as far as Mexican liquor imports into the U.S. And mezcal is generally still made, it's made from agave. It's just not blue agave from the Jalisco region. So if you make it outside of there, and this is generally like kind of done village by village, city by city, it changes a couple blocks from whoever's making it to the next person who's making it. So it's unique. It's almost like craft beer in that. It's
a little less controlled.
Less controlled, more creative.
Now, Sean, do you know the story about why tequila has to come from that Jalisco region now?
I'm gonna guess it's like all the other, como se dice, ass hat.
Well, apparently somebody brought the blue agaves over to northern Africa, and we're making tequila and calling it tequila from there, and then going straight to Europe for a lot cheaper. And that's when that came into where now they're like cognac or champagne, where it has to come from here to be able to call that.
I mean, good on them. At the same time, my original point still stands. It's a bunch of people that are like, well, you can't do that. We can only do that.
Yes.
It's why California
thing.
Champagne is just called Brut or Brut Champagne, because France is again like, no. You know what? If it's good, drink it. Same with food. If it's good, eat it. It's fine. It's fine. So what we're going to do with this is 2 ounces of mezcal. And actually, before I pour that over my cube, I'm going to put my bitters on my cube. I'm kind of a stickler for that. I like putting all my bitters on my big cube first. So big cube, a rocks glass. I like 2 dashes of base coats. Wow, Peychaud's. I'm going to do a dash of Malort.
Oh, you're putting the Malort in this one, huh?
I am. Malort is a fantastic bitters. It gets underrated because it's like a joke shot in Chicago, but it really lends a lot of kind of drawing out powers and flavor to a cocktail. I also did just 2 tiny drops, so just a tiny bit of cherry bark bitters. But the bark in here really goes the smokiness of a mezcal, which is why I'm using that, but just a little bit. So this is already going to be a very complex cocktail, but bear with me. We're going to do our 2 ounces of mezcal in the glass over the cube. Tiny splash of simple syrup. Just enough to take the edge off. Little splash of lime juice. And again, this is like, I don't even know how to describe how little I just used. If you're to use like a 1/4 teaspoon on a baking set, it's like 1/2 of a 1/4 teaspoon.
So 1/8 of a teaspoon. Oh.
That is how I would describe it. Excellent. Excellent work, Ian. You're now teaching the class. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to cut the skin off of a lime to give myself a nice fat twist, just like that. So, little stir. And express the twist over the top. Just to see if we can get some oils out of there. Run around the rim of the glass, and then just throw that twist right in the bottom of the glass. And I hope I didn't forget anything, but that should be it. I'm going to switch cameras real quick.
So everybody can see Sean drinking it.
And that is our mezcal.
Definitely got some like leather note, or like almost like a horse saddle.
I mean, so the hard part about this, yeah, absolutely. The hard part about any of these cocktails is because of the variety in mezcal. Something's always going to be a little bit different.
Very smoky.
Yeah, so this one's quite smoky, but the general, so mezcal has, to me, it's tequila. It's like that bite, and then the smokiness, add like a Scotch smokiness added on top. This tones down the tequila bite and lets you have a little bit, or well, releases the smoke, so to speak. Kerrin, do you drink Scotch at all? PD Scotch, something like that?
You know, sure, sometimes.
That's a solid no.
My go-to alcoholic beverage, if I'm looking for like a cocktail, hard liquor, is gonna be an old fashioned. That's just what I go for. I don't mess around with a whole lot else.
Okay.
We heard the story of the old fashioned while we were out there. Apparently, this is the first bourbon that was put in, or whiskey that was put into an old fashioned, was the James Pepper, 1776.
Right. And supposedly he created the old fashioned and then brought it to the Waldorf Astoria in New York and asked them to make it, and they're like, "This is pretty baller. We're keeping this."
Yeah.
Right. They straight up, yeah, no man. Gonna say something stupid. I'm gonna forego that thought for once.
We'll read the rest later.
Sure, we'll do that on the post show.
Yes. Well, we do all the stupid shit on the post show.
But yeah, so that's classic cocktail, the Diablo, El Diablo, and my riff on the sazerac, trying to incorporate mezcal, because I don't want to dislike anything, and I think they all deserve a shot. So cheers, mezcal.
So basically, you're using the Malort instead of the absinthe spray, and then tequila.
You know what? I forgot my absinthe. This is not my show, man.
So there is absinthe in this.
So I actually have some homemade absinthe that I meant to mix in.
Oh.
There we go.
I gotta try some of your homemade absinthe. We'll have to have an absinthe night one. Yeah,
actually, we've been talking about doing an absinthe show.
I've got the dispenser right too, so we can do the whole both traditional ways.
So, from what I was tasting, that cut the smokiness in half. I used just a little bit of my tiny bar spoon here. Okay, yeah, that's way different.
So there is absinthe in it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so it's so it's the Malort, the Peychaud's,
Sure.
one or two drops of cherry bark, again like a little tiny quarter-eighth of a teaspoon of homemade absinthe. Oh my goodness! Again, it's a complex cocktail. I get it. There's a lot going on, but at that point, with all that, it's fun. It's drinkable. It's got a lot of layers. It's easy to approach. It's not like trying to do a shot of mezcal, which I never recommend. It's just it's a potent liquor, man. It's trying to it's like trying to do a shot of scotch. You sip it.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily a tequila person. It's not what I want to go sip. But this is fun. This is interesting. If I'm at a Mexican restaurant, I get this. I get some chips and salsa. I'm gonna be hanging out all night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because probably going to be pretty shit-faced after like one or two of these.
Well, that would be 4 ounces of mezcal. So yeah, this is 45%. So this is
Right
90
up there,
proof.
bourbon or anything like that. Yeah.
This is Los Vecinos de Campo.
Yeah.
You see, it's muy bueno. From Oaxaca. So sweet. There's the cocktails this evening.
So, Kerrin, you've got another song for us?
I do. I can play another song.
Please.
All right. So this one is called Thanks for Playing. It's about death, but specifically...
You to, so we don't interrupt during the song. I guess.
Oh.
Already turned his mic off.
Oh, so this is the song. I thought like it would be fun if I wrote a song about death, but through the lens of the actual Grim Reaper. But instead of just a regular Grim Reaper, it's the host of a game show that is death, and they don't like it. And that's basically where it comes from. Which sounds very silly, but like this is one of my most emo songs. It's a game because you lose. It's a show because all the world is watching you kill everyone, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Now you're in jeopardy. There's no running from me. How entertaining if the vice is right. That's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for playing. What's behind curtain number 3? Tell him, Davy, a shiny new eternity. Well, it's just a shame you'll never see, 'cause it's rigged against you. I'm just here to collect you. Now you're in jeopardy. There's no running from me. How entertaining if the vice is right. That's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for playing. No new car, no getaway. Every star must fade away for all to see on daytime TV. Yeah, for all to see on daytime TV. Now you're in jeopardy. Yeah. always right. That's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for
Yeah,
Woo!
that was good stuff.
That was awesome. That one, so like when we first chatted, like Spotify, everything. I remember that one. That was actually, I really like that one. So.
I'm glad it's memorable. Thank you.
Yeah, death. I mean, who knew?
Who knew?
All right. Well, it's the time of the show for shameless plugs. So, Kerrin, we'll let you start.
Woo! Shameless plugs. Go stream my album. It's called Almost, and it's everywhere that you could possibly think to stream or buy music. Also, anywhere you could Google my name, I exist. So look me up.
Excellent.
They do
Sean?
exist. Hey, I'm your at least a good bartender, if not your most favorite bartender. So come watch us, watch past episodes, watch new episodes that generally come out every week on the Beery Traveler. So it's the Beery Traveler on Facebook, facebook.me/Beery Traveler. On Twitter, you can contact us, Beery_Traveler. On Instagram, _Beery_Traveler. Or just type in Beery Traveler in Google, and if you see the TBT logo, that's us. We're also the Beery Traveler .here.
Beer.
Beer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if you want to contact us, beer@thebeerytraveler.beer.
Yes.
It's all about beer except for my part, which is cocktails. Also, if you want to hear me interview people long form format style, Wasted Knowledge podcast. It's on every podcast service. I've interviewed everyone from NASA scientists to hairstylists, and it's fun because I'm bartending them, and the Beery Traveler's been on the show. I'm not the Beery Traveler. Ian is. I'm just a guy that makes cocktails along for the ride.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in tonight.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, everybody. We're always looking for good times and great beers. Until next time, we will have a little bit of extra stuff maybe after the show. We'll get a little more nerdy afterwards, maybe. But we'll see where it goes. But hey, thank you everybody for watching tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.